Hello, my name is Marjaneh Rouhani, and I'm very honored to be in your presence today, which is September 16, 2021, and it's actually the anniversary of Muhammad Reza Shah, the great Shah Shahryameh, to say his promise and how do you say it in English? He appeared in front of the Congress and he made a swearing and the inauguration to take care of the Constitution and to take care of the people. And he did to the last of the days with much bravery and courage. And despite the fact that he was left alone by the world, there was his family and several of his men and women, and more importantly, the great Anwar Sadat, President Anwar Sadat from Egypt, that stood up and took care of and showed with courage that in the world of politics, still there could be honesty and friendship. And I truly believe that true politics involves a lot of honesty, and if not all honest, because we in politics should believe in representing people, and we should believe that after so many years of people dying and giving blood for freedom and trying to have a better life for our kids or children, we have accomplished to the stage where we can be honest with each other rather than deceitful. Despite the fact that's interesting throughout history, a lot of kings, presidents, and a lot of political sabotage has happened through field of medicine or poison. Which brings us today, actually, with all this COVID crisis and the viral crisis. And you wonder sometimes, what is viral? Is this COVID that's viral, or is it our integrity or lack of integrity that's kind of going viral as people are kind of being set up to confront each other over very private issues that we are taught in medicine that they're the most private aspect of anybody's life. For example, if somebody goes into the doctor in modern medicine, and medicine has been through ups and downs a lot, actually, in terms of information, informed consent, and all of it. And it's fascinating because the past at least 40 some years, the approach to transparency and information and communication with patients has become more and more transparent, to the point that that became a law, went through a lot of bureaucratic legislations and became a law in terms of HIPAA, which every doctor's office had to have the patient sign a great deal of consent that the information would not be released. And also in terms of even being directly communicating with the patient, where you can read stories from the past where everybody would know the person was inflicted with a deadly disease, cancer, or something that was incurable at the time. And then we moved to the position where actually the doctor directly speaks to the patient, and if it's good news, bad news, it's directly spoken with the patient regardless. And if there is any decision making about treatment or lack of treatment, no treatment, the Iranians have never put up with and have always fought against and have always stood up against and never gave in. And even the small kids now are grown up, they're not giving up, and they're fighting as, if not more fierce than their own parents in their own way, which is admirable and a role model for many, many nations who are going through this change from what it seems to be from democracy to tyranny, where you don't have the autonomy of your body. And basically the reason behind it is that you're doing it for other people, which is a completely different or unfamiliar concept, in the sense that we usually do things for ourselves, for our well-being. If you are kind of obese, we go on a diet for ourselves. We do things for ourselves, and that has been the great motivator for well-being. If you are taking a blood pressure medication, it's for us. If we are taking any vitamin, is for us. If you are delivering a baby in a hospital, you feel safe in a hospital, is for the safety for the mother, of course, for the child as well. And so basically now we are hearing very different situation, that you're doing for the good of others. And who are these other people who are probably have chosen to receive the injection and who are supposedly protected? And that has raised a lot of eyebrows, if not questions. And when the second rap singer from Trinidad and Tobago, Nicki Minaj, took to the social media Twitter and posted just a question, basically, it throw the whole world, this seems, into this medical controversy, where the lady is asking or commenting or making a suggestion that do your investigation or do your research. And she became under attack, and all she was saying, do your research, and which is something that we do and we encourage, and that's part of scientific or normal human behavior, curiosity, as a matter of fact, for anything, not just for your well-being and for our well-being in medicine. And I think we're just stepping into a very different category or different territory altogether, where her account gets suspended because she's commenting on her God forbid 22 million followers to research before they make their decision either way. And I think we need to open up our hearts, love, and also encourage our kids, encourage our friends, encourage ourselves, and basically to have the ability to ask questions. Without asking questions, there is no humanity, there is no growth, there is no advancement, and basically the difference between what we call, lower animals, and a lot of people also call human Homo sapiens in the animal kingdom. But the difference in our brain system, which seems to be kind of the wish for these people who have God complex, to hack any individual brain and kind of pull it into the computer system or artificial intelligence, cyborg or something, or some bizarre, the megalomaniac wish or ideal world for the few that has left billions of people behind. And it's quite a journey for the 7,000 8.5 billion or 8.8 billion of us, I want to say, because the number or the critical mass to kind of say that, no, we do count. No, you cannot make decisions for us. We choose our governments. We choose our representatives. We choose what goes inside our body, and to kind of nudge these people that, hey, wake up. If you have a lot of money, it is because we paid you guys, or we all know that during the pandemic, when a lot of businesses or people were not working, unable to work, a lot of money poured into, and the money changed hands. Money did not disappear. And I think money is something that when people have more and more of it, they want more, and can be quite addictive, because these people apparently became even trillionaires, and they enjoy even showing off. And the Met Gala, which is a yearly event, and that was done, I think, just last Monday, I think. It was quite evident of where we are moving in a wrong direction again, quite symbolic. First of all, the whole, all of the cameras were on AOC, who is kind of always trying to stand by people who don't have money, and there she is in her multi-thousand or $1,000 gown, says tax the rich, and the gentleman who's picking up her dress, or all the people around these people who were showing up at the gala, they had their masks on, and people who were at the gala did not wear a mask. And masking for us, actually, from Iran, where we do believe our country was taken over by the few when the borders were left open, and the terrorists were trained in Libya and other countries, Lebanon, Iraq, even 1 micron, and the fabric in the mask is 3 microns separation. Despite the scientific fact, you are not able to ask question or reason. And this brings me to the statement that we are facing a cult, or move towards a cult of science, where it doesn't matter what you say or what the scientific argument is, or who's going to win the argument, or who has the winning card. It's more about who says what, and the order that is coming from the mountain. And it doesn't matter what research gets done. Otherwise, we have a huge research, and kudos to the Israeli scientists who came out with with a recent study showing that the natural immunity does exist, and the natural immunity is actually 17, if not 13, even 27 times more efficacious and more lasting than what even the injectable genetic modification or the operating system mRNA that Moderna has on its website, or Pfizer has on their website, or they claim the innate our own immunity is more powerful, a lot more powerful. And we all remember, again, I want to repeat again about the chickenpox parties, or all the parties that the mothers used to take their kids. So, but this has become a controversy. 25% of those 80 million people said because they were told they had to receive it, they rather leave their jobs than to receive the injection. So we are, talking about human psychology, where even a lot of people who have received the vaccine, or a lot of people don't call it the vaccine because it's a modern technology that modifies the genome of a human being, apparently, or kind of signals. It's an mRNA technology, and it's, according to the CEO from Moderna, it's a operating system basically that takes over the genome in the human body. This is not something that I'm making up. You can go to their websites and you can see that. But in a sense, we have all of this information, and it seems like everybody is talking about this. And at the same time, all of these talks are basically stepping over the supreme law of the United States of America, at least, if not other constitutions in the world, because a lot of countries that are enforcing these through their politicians and their, a lot of times they're not even politicians, they're unelected officials who've been given a job in the healthcare to head the healthcare field, and just being enforced by their opinion, and it doesn't have any backing up by the studies that are done by independent scientists. We know about Dr. Zelenka, we know about Dr. Montagnier, we know about Dr. Malone, all these supreme doctors, as a matter of fact, who Dr. McClaw, who have come out and has made these, outstanding physicians have made it their life mission to kind of really, despite a lot of censorship, to divulge a lot of information, and so that people can have informed consent, and not to kind of fall back before the Hitler time and what happened to our brothers and sisters in the Jewish community, where they were subjected to these horrific experimental injections or other medical experiments. And we know even when we had that doctor who was given Nobel Prize for frontal lobotomies to treat schizophrenia, and that's still, the person who actually stood up and really started going from country to country, wrote a lot. He is still a very controversial figure, and despite the fact that many people were saying that, oh, this works, there were only a few people who stood up and said, no, this doesn't work, this is inhuman, and this is not the way to do business. But in a sense, we have supreme law, we have constitution to stand by the laws, and so that everybody is equal in front of the law. And now we are stepping again into a territory where president after president in the United States, it seems like there are more laws that are done or by executive orders. Mostly the laws in the United States have been done by the legislative powers, where they present a bill, it goes through the House, and then goes through the Senate, then goes to the president's table and desk, and president's desk, and the president has the power to veto. And then it sends, if the president vetoes that law, doesn't be in the bill and doesn't become law, then that means that they just need more votes from the Congress. So that's, I think from President Obama had the most executive powers and executive orders. And then as we have been going along, we've been having more and more executive orders. And I think that's a wrong direction, because then we are leaving one leg of three independent, what's supposed to be independent powers to keep freedom or keep democracy in the country out of balance. But today is a very, very important day in Iranian history, where Shahanshah Yamer, who is the modern, I want to say, politician, diplomat, genius of this century, and he saved Iran's sovereignty, and through our constitutional movement and the revolution, what we call the White Revolution, because there was no blood involved, there was nobody, no demonstrations or anything. Women were given given power to vote for the first time in 1400 years, and 10 years before the Swiss women did. And also lands were given to farmers, and factory stock were distributed, or the factory workers became part owners of the factory, and so that they were able to participate in what they were working. And it was a very amazing, incredible step. And it was initiated like the Constitution of the United States, how after the first Constitution was established, we had amendments. We got that amendments all set up, and then now that our Shah is in exile, Reza Shah II in exile, he has issued a decree, and it's all democratic. It's all inclusive. Based on our Constitution, we are able to transition power very. Again, in a bloodless, very peaceful manner, and France is a symbol of liberty for everyone. But I want to say most of the freedom fighters have lived in Iran, and I'm very proud of that. And the first revolution is documented in Shahnameh, or the Book of Kings by Ferdowsi. And with this, I really want to appreciate Dr. Saeed Hamzavi. We're going to have our constitutional movement program in Farsi tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And I'm grateful. This is a time to decide, are you on do you want to stand on the right side of history, or you want to turn your back and be with evil? We are looking at the eye of evil, but humanity always wins. Payande Iran.